traversed the tombs of Naxxramas. We've climbed every cliff on Black Rock. Now the world cries out for heroes. As a new evil rises, there will be danger. There will be doom. There will be ancient temples filled with relics, treasures, and traps. Who will answer the call?
Explorers lead, and we are in need of explorers. Adventure we seek, cross land and sea. Won't you come and join us?
Yes!
Welcome back, everybody, to the StarLadder StarSeries Finals. I had no idea this was going to happen, that we'd get a live version of Forsen's Plug DJ stream.
Yeah, it's
right
actually
here,
incredible.
Live in Minsk, Belarus.
This is how Minsk parties, apparently, and Forsen parties the same way.
Yeah, it does not surprise me. Looks like we brought the pleb list live, and there it is.
Lvxiaobu is coming here. He won versus Dog.
Yeah, congratulations to our first player. He is not necessarily through to the winner's match. You might be confused with that.
Freda, that's such a long way he has to walk.
A little awkward because he just went to the bathroom. He's in a separate player room, as you can just see. We are in our own tavern. But you guys got a good general sense of what happens here. We're having a good time, man. The best we can.
Yeah, absolutely.
As we can with bagpipes, you know.
Yeah. Well, I think we actually have an interview prepared with Lvxiaobu, so let's watch that.
当时想的就是能进入那个线下，能来到这个国际舞台上比赛，所以最后也是做到了。就是当时也是很纠结，因为这两个比赛都是比较大型的比赛，一个是国内就是15年最后的最大的比赛吧，还是选择了这个 SALI 联赛，然后把黄金总决赛的名额让给了队友，所以最后结果也是不错的。也没有特别印象深，就是感觉都打的就是挺激烈的。就是会主要就是去研究对手的，去看一些对手的比赛视频嘛，根据对手的资料去做一些调整。一般就是准备比赛前准备2个礼拜。我这组有那个 Clantocation 和那个道哥狗哥，这2个都是就是国外比较有名的选手，然后我也非常期待跟他们一战。应该还是不会换，因为很期待跟狗哥和 Cation 一战。这次赛制就是前面4班1的话就是还是比较普通的，但是决赛的话是征服5，然后是从4个职业里就是再选一个跑一次，这个应该是第一次接触吧，因为也是比较新的赛制了。卡组的话，一个会选就是这段时间自己用的比较顺的，然后就是根据对手去选择一下，就是对手是擅长控制套牌还是快攻套牌，然后去调整一下。我参加过那个中韩大师赛和2014年的暴雪嘉年华。我觉得自己应该还是可以出现第几啊？第2或第3吧。最不想碰到，那就希望就是不要太早碰到蓝胜者吧，因为大家都是国人，希望在最后决赛可以碰到。尽力吧，就还是有一点可能的。
All right, so well, we got to get to know Nicholas a little bit better in terms of his play styles, what he likes to do with his decks. You know, it's really awesome to see the Chinese scene continue to open up, Nimsh, just because we get to know the players that much better. When normally, because of the language barriers, or just because of the fact that they're in China and they have their own entire ecosystem of how BlizzCon works for them, or the World Championships, excuse me, it's very interesting to see their styles mesh with ours.
Absolutely. And I think the language barrier is really important because when you want to watch the US players, everything is in English, so it's easy to read their articles and everything. But if you want to follow the Chinese players, where do you go? But talking about English language, we have Cipher walking the road. The pride on his face, the walk. He is here to fight. He might have lost one match, but he's not losing this one. At least in his mind.
Yeah, tough spot to be, you know, in Cipher's pants right now, just because he's in a situation where if he loses, he most likely won't advance in the group unless there's a three-way tie. And that's very unlikely. We're playing round-robin groups here in StarLadder, and we're going to get to know Cipher a little bit better with this interview, and then we're going to start the series.
Well, it's Conquest again, which is the format everyone's been preparing for over and over again recently. So I think everyone has a good grasp on what the kind of best strategies are. So I'm basically going to be using the same strategy I've been using for online tournaments in the past few weeks. Initially, I thought I was in a difficult group, but then StarSeries came in to replace Amaz, and I'm just always happy to not be in StarSeries' group. I have a really poor win rate against him. So yeah, now I'm happy to be in this group. It's a very complex process. I involve my team a lot. We, like 20 days before the tournament, we had 6 people into a Skype group. We review all of the decks we expect our opponents to bring. We decide, how predictable people are. Whether it's best just to bring the strongest lineups or whether it's best to try and target a specific deck. And yeah, we go through many iterations. We practice the strategies we think will work. And yeah, we come to a conclusion after all of that. Well, I do play a lot of ranked games as well, but tournament metas tend to be different, especially when you include a ban like this tournament does. It's okay. It's only 2 people being eliminated after the first group stage. It's pretty forgiving. And I like how if you get first in your group, you immediately earn a top 4. Often there's not too big a difference between getting first, second in your group, so it's much more incentive to go all out in the group stage.
All right, so Cipher needs to grab this win very importantly because if he loses, it's a very low statistical chance that he's able to get through. And at this point, you also see everybody's decks. Everyone's played one time.
Yeah.
And you're able to watch the other room. There's a really nice lounge that people are chilling in the Twitch lounge. So now that you have an opportunity to understand that Xiaobu's also playing the Murloc Paladin, he's playing the Aggro Paladin, he's playing Reno Warlock, how do you think his lineup fits?
I think his lineup is really smart. I was talking to Dog about it for a moment, and Dog didn't anticipate so many people bringing the Murloc Paladin. His lineup is really smart with a combo control deck, with another, well, how do you even call Reno Warlock? Is it a combo deck per se? Is it more control than Aggro Shaman? I think his lineup is really solid. All decks have a chance to win versus a specific strategy of decks. So it's not like the lineup is the same and is going to get killed by one specific deck.
Sure thing. Here we go. Game number 1. Secret Paladin versus the Murloc Paladin. We saw this earlier with Colento taking it on and being able to take a very important win to take the series 3-1. And now we move on into another point where Cipher has to decide. Cipher has to win because that will decide ultimately the ebb and flow of the match from that point on. This curve looks pretty decent though, having 2, 3, 4, and 5. And Xiaobu starts off kind of okay. Getting the Muster for battle early on is pretty huge.
Yeah, I think both hands are fine. For Cipher, maybe it could have been better, but it could have been certainly worse with more secrets. He just wants to pick the Mysterious Challenge at some point, but having the Master for battle early is great. Like, he wants to pressure Xiaobu as much as possible. Don't allow Xiaobu to draw any cards. On the other hand, Xiaobu has Pyromancer as a great response to Master for Battle.
That's right.
He's on Master for Battle as well.
Yeah, and we see Pyromancer coin kills 3 minions, meaning that the Solemn Vigil is not enough to proc. So he's going to most likely use Master for Battle here. Looks like we're going to have to wake our spectator up.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have to use the Pyromancer as well because you want to keep it with equality for the big stuff. When you're actually losing on board. Whenever the board is small and you're just taking a couple of points of damage, it's fine. But Mysterious Challenger is here.
Mysterious Challenger is here, but he's not going to be able to do anything for a couple of turns. This gives Cipher an opportunity to very commandingly seize the board and put Xiaobu in a pretty awkward spot because he doesn't have Consecration yet. If he had Consecration, he still wouldn't be able to guarantee clear the board.
Yeah, even with Consecration, actually, Cipher can absolutely play around it. So a great position for Cipher to, in his mind, but we do know there is the Equality Pyromancer combo if needed. This is the moment, though.
You don't get to Solemn Vigil for full discount either, though. So I don't know. I might be a little bit greedier with it and play something else, whether it's Keeper of Oldemon or the Sludge Belcher induces some logistical problems of getting through efficiently as well.
Yeah, Sludge Belcher seems pretty nice. You do give out the coin to play him, but it does stop a bit of damage and also kills something on board.
Oh wait, no, the Pyro Equality actually does give you 5 minions that die,
minutes, yeah.
so
and you still have
Vigil does allow you to pop. I wasn't counting the Pyromancer itself.
Oh,
so
okay.
that actually seems perfectly fine if you want to go for it. You generally do want to draw a lot of cards. Is he going to push out Sludge Belcher instead?
Possibly. Okay. Even though Pyromancer Equality Solemn Vigil is a cute play and it clears the board, it is giving away your biggest
he wants more value.
Yeah, exactly.
He wants the board to build up a little bit more because he knows his opponent will just play something else for 5 mana.
Absolutely, and then you know there's Mysterious Challenger coming at some point of the game.
I don't mind that at all because you know that Mysterious Challenger comes out on 6, so you can do your best on turn 5 to wipe it, so that way he can't get a very big board with Competitive Spirit or even have like Avenge and all those things activate and have like a big 10-8 on the board, or 10-9, excuse me.
All right, so for Cipher, this turn is easy turn 5 Sludge Belcher.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. Just play the minion and I guess you just kill off the Belcher. There's no point in like letting it live. You might be like, well, you know, maybe I get Mysterious Challenger and a huge board, but that's very, very greedy.
Yeah, it's fine, especially because you have the Belcher now. So playing Mysterious Challenger behind the Belcher is one of the most, the strongest plays.
Certainly.
So there is another Murloc.
There's another Murloc, but now Xiaobu's in an even more awkward spot than he was the previous turn because he didn't use a quality Pyro. Now it's sitting in a spot where it doesn't fully clear the board anymore, and
so I'm thinking Keeper of Uldamon.
Oh man, this is a very weak turn.
Yeah, it's all about the value again. So he keeps the quality Pyromancer for the big play.
Oh, second Avenge being drawn here makes Cipher only pull 4 secrets? Or 3 secrets, excuse me.
Redemption, Noble Sacrifice.
Yeah. And Competitive Spirit. So a little bit of unfortunate for Cipher. He just needed to draw something else beside that. Literally any other card would have been better.
Oh man,
he end up killing a Murloc here? I would have to imagine so.
You probably want to kill the Murloc, because if you don't, there's a possibility of a Consecration into the Sludge Belcher. But it's so good for Xiaobu though. Like you play the Murloc, it tanks a couple of points of damage, and you're fine with it because you're going to bring the Murloc at some point. Oh, he decides to kill it with Belcher.
Yeah, I like that. I like that because you can keep the most maximum damage, and this is representing lethal effectively by having these minions on board. Now Xiaobu has to figure out an immediate counter, or else he is toasty toast.
Oh, it seems like a time to use that Pyromancer.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? If he uses Keeper of Uldamon on Mysterious Challenger, Competitive Spirit is giving too much.
Yeah, there's no other choice here. And you can use Solemn Vigil for free. That gives you 2 more mana to play with, and that allows you to get a Blue Guild Warrior to clean up the final minion here.
He got so much information here, by the way. No Avenge means there is double Avenge in the hand.
Yeah, that's also a good point. He knows that there's 2 Avenges in the deck. So with that information, he just has to cross his fingers for no Dr. Boom, which is somewhat likely to be drawn compared to the fact that he drew 3 secrets out of the deck, but still has to get a little lucky here.
So there's no Dr. Boom, but still, Juggler works with Muster for Battle.
Yeah, Juggler's excellent considering that he just used Pyro Quality. You can play the Muster for Battle.
But there is Consecration for Xiaobu.
Consecration does shut that down, though. Yeah, you're right.
So for now, it seems like it's looking good for Xiaobu, even though Cipher was so aggressive from the very beginning. A Consecration this turn into Lay on Hands, 2 Lay on Hands.
He's not out of the woods just yet, though. I mean, it is one of these things where Noble Sacrifice and Avenge really introduce a logistical problem of clearing efficiently.
They do, if Cipher decides to go for them, but there's no reason not, I believe.
Right, because if you play the Noble Sacrifice and the Avenge, generally the way to clear everything is to AoE it down the same time. But he can't do that because the Noble Sacrifice will activate the Avenge. So therefore, Xiaobu's in a very uncomfortable position. How do you actually clear this?
So if you use
Game
Consecration,
Hunter.
you only have 3 mana. It doesn't give you much. Big Game Hunter will not hit on the Slime. Keeper of Ulduman is not an option, or is it an option?
Not if you want to consecrate.
If you Consecrate, you take 5, 6 damage next turn, so it's...
There's no way to avoid it. Most likely, the best case scenario is you consecrate and hope that it's not Avenge.
I think you do have to Consecrate anyway.
Right, well, you attack first into 2/3, then you see that it's Avenge and then you
I'm
consecrate.
not sure if you attack first. Because if you attack, you're dead.
Well, you're dead either way.
You're not dead if you just Consecrate, right? Because you just get an Avenge, and there is 5 damage, a 5 attack on the...
Ooh, yikes. Yeah, you're right. You don't take the extra damage from Noble Sacrifice. And the juggles to the face. So that's going to wrap it up, and Xiaobu gets overwhelmed. And this is something that we were looking at Cipher in the previous game against Colento. He was trying to do something like this, but he didn't curve out as aggressively as he'd like to. Secret Paladin getting its first win in the tournament after being winless for a long time.
Yeah, so it's a big morale boost for Cipher. He thought he's not there. When I was talking to him after the match, after he lost to Colento, he was so upset. He was super stressed. Yeah. But right now, he feels good. He was walking a really long walk. It helps to clear your mind, to take your position. And right now, after winning the first game, I'm like, look at him. He is still a bit nervous, but he is confident.
I think you just need to reset your mind and get back into the zone here. Don't think he's too rattled, just more focused than anything. Xiaobu, on the other hand, definitely uncomfortable, but he's up 1-0 in the overall standings after taking down Dog. He has to be feeling pretty good about that. And now that the Paladin's out of the way, we have the Mage and the Warlock remaining for Cipher. So he queues up again. This is an interesting matchup. The Murloc Paladin against the Reno Warlock. How do you look at it, Nimsh?
So it's I think it's fine for the Paladin because it's like Druid versus Reno Warlock, where Druid is it's a good matchup for Druid. You have this burst that you can unleash at some point, and it's better than just dealing small chunks of damage when they can heal everything. So I think that gives the Paladin a bit of an advantage, but it's all about the mid-game as well. If Warlock is able to just control the mid-game and kill you before you even get to the combo, you will be in a bad spot. Alright, so looking at the hands of the players, for Cipher, he has the Reno already, but the important card is Dark Peddler that will help him put the early pressure on board. But on the other hand, Xiaobu has the Murlocs and Master, so it's not terrible.
Yeah, so as you were mentioning, Nimsh, Paladin excels at controlling the board against Reno Lock, and just the hero power alone is just like a natural enemy against what the Warlock tries to do, because you're trying to tap a lot. You've given up almost all of your AoE outside of just the Twisting Nether, the Shadow Flame, and the Hellfire. Normally you run a little bit more, and you have a lot of access to convenient clears.
Yeah.
So Paladin pressure just destroys the Reno Warlock a lot. You amplify that by the fact that, it's like you said, you can heal back to 30, but your opponent might do 36 right back at you.
Exactly, and you can't do anything about it. Unless you have Lvxiaobu, so maybe you can slow for one turn. But for Cipher, he got the brand now. He is deciding if he wants to play the Dark Peddler or tap. The benefit of keeping Dark Peddler is that you will get 2 cards when you play it after Brand Bronzebeard. Those cards are not great.
No, they're actually very terrible.
There's nothing he can use to his advantage much.
Chooses Undertaker?
He's back!
Someone tell Cipher it's 2016. No one plays Undertaker anymore.
Apparently Cipher does at this moment.
Well, Muster for Battle going to shut down this 2-1. and give Xiaobu some pretty good board presence right now. Cipher might end up just having to drop.
By the way, Frodan, I love the setup. If you look behind Xiaobu, and we saw the shot before, there are armors, and it feels like we're in a castle.
Yeah,
With the bagpipes and everything. We have an awesome audience right here as well, just having fun.
Cipher looking like he's not having the most fun, though. He's playing the Undertaker here and tapping instead of playing a 3-drop. Ends up hitting face now. That's interesting because now with 5 minions on board and the opportunity to fully trade into and be able to get full solemn visual value, that's something that I'd always be scared of in the back of my mind.
Maybe the question we should ask is, who's the beatdown in the matchup? It might
Definitely
be
not the Reno lock. You're lacking burst.
Are you sure though? Because Paladin is the one who is going to win with the combo. So
yeah, but they're also the one pressuring. That's like asking Druid. That's like saying Druid's not the beatdown in this matchup because it has Force of Nature Savage Roar.
yeah, that's true. But Cipher has to win with damage anyway. Unless you go for fatigue somehow.
Cipher wants to tap a lot. And
Yeah,
by
that's
tapping,
true.
he's conceding board. And normally the way you come back is through big AoE. But Paladin is so good at following up with it, not just with the board presence, but also burst. And because he picked relatively weak cards off of like Dark Peddler, which he had no choice of, he's conceded board control, and he wants to tap again in order to stay mana efficient. Look at this. Ooze before the true silver champion. That stings.
Yeah, he just wants to have the board pressure, as you mentioned, because he needs to deal that damage to Paladin before he gets to the late turns.
It's too slow to play very conservative. Like, a lot of people are going to look at this play and be like, Cipher, don't you want to shut down the true silver champion? It's like the most obvious thing that Paladin wants to do on turn 4 if you play a reasonable sized minion. But if he concedes that, does Ooze... Like, first of all, if he doesn't have it, he can challenge the Acolyte. The second thing is, if he doesn't do that, then he's just floating mana, and he doesn't really want to do that at all.
Right now we can see that Cipher is concerned about that True Silver Champion.
Yeah, has the Farseer here, but that's going to get shut down once again by the,
So I'm still thinking what's the best way for Cipher to win this game. If he plays Jaraxxus, that might be one. Just exhaust all the removal from Xiaobu. When you see all the equalities, just slam Jaraxxus. Or even before, just slam Jaraxxus to try to win with Infernals before the combo actually takes effect. But bad news for Cipher is that the Murlocs are already there. And that's what Xiaobu wants. Play the Murlocs early, and when he finally gets the anything can happen at turn 10, just win the game right there.
Yeah, and it's such a like damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's like if I don't clear these Murlocs, they're gonna hit me.
Yeah.
But if I clear them, they're gonna come back and kill me anyways. One of those very slow but sinking feelings into your stomach where you're like, I don't want to kill this off.
Whenever I play versus the Murloc Paladin, I hope they don't draw the Murlocs. And the
That's
Murlocs
pretty
are
much
actually
it.
the last cards in the deck.
Or anything can happen is in the last 30.
I'm fine
it's like the 30th card.
I'm super fine if they have double anything can happen from the very start of the game.
Sure, that's also a possibility.
But
as
if the Murlocs are the last, let's say last 6 cards, they still have to play them and sacrifice them in a way for the card to work. But now it's really bad.
I like the Bluegill Warrior here, shutting down the 3/5, and then you can use the 2 1-attack minions, draw even a card in the process.
It's a 6-attack Bluegill.
Yeah, that is a very cheap Leroy.
Yeah, it is.
Bluegill Warrior.
Oh man, it's actually amazing. I would never imagine that Murlocs will be back in this form. And what's super cool is that Xiaobu is actually
speaking
running...
of Leroy.
Speaking of Leroy. Oh, wow. This means that he actually has a good way to win versus the deck.
Yeah.
Because this is the Leroy version.
We didn't see this earlier, right? We saw that Xiaobu actually plays the Fugen and Stalag version. But Cipher is playing the combo version.
The combo version, which means he has 1 Power Overwhelming, 1 Leroy, and he might have 1 Faceless as well.
He certainly
1 Arcane
has
Golem,
1 Faceless.
possibly.
That's always dependent. I know some people were iffy on it. I looked at like VLPS's list, for example, and sometimes he does, but I generally like making sure that we have stuff to do. Because if you have Arcane Golem and Leroy, sometimes it's like, well, I'm holding both these charged minions. I don't have anything to do.
Yeah, it's tough. But then Arcane Golem provides you with actually another option to use Faceless and Power Overwhelming.
It just makes your combo more consistent, but makes your overall tempo plays and curve less consistent.
And we haven't seen the Warlock from Cipher last match, if I believe. We've seen only Freeze Mage and Secret Paladin. So right now, Xiaobu doesn't know exactly which version is it.
Right, he doesn't have the information like Cipher does on Xiaobu, where he knows if he played in the mirror, he's heavily favored against Reno Warlock mirrors because he has this combo.
All right, and suddenly there are options. Twisting Nether can deal with this board easily.
It still leaves behind a 1-2, but that's your best option because this board is getting out of control and you are in threat of dying.
Whoa! That's a sweet animation. I just love this card.
That's amazing. Every time I see Twisting Nether, my jaw drops a little bit. And I really wish more animations were like that.
It's actually lucky for us that it doesn't remove the cards from the game.
Like suck it up in a black hole.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you just disenchant those cards.
So you can't bring the Murlocs back because they got removed. They're not in the graveyard. It will be possible in the other card games.
I guess so. We'll see as time goes on.
There is Faceless Frozen.
Faceless Manipulator with the Leroy is 12 damage right now, looking for that power bomb to make it 20, but even then he'd still be off. I wonder if he's just going to drop Reno Jackson. No, it's still 9 mana, so it doesn't need to.
Yeah.
He can drop Reno the following turn.
That's a great math. He knows that he's not dead next turn, even if there is anything can happen. Which is not...
Okay. Is he going to Solemn Vigil first? That's interesting. I figured you can try to do some other stuff. Maybe even Lay on Hands again. Oh, Lay on Hands would make him overdraw.
Well, he's not concerned about his health at the moment. He doesn't.
Well, I mean, the Lay on Hands is more draw, but it fills up his hand and he can't play anything else.
I think the value of Lay on Hands is that it heals you as well. So, in any point of the game, if there is a situation where he is endangered, he wants to have the heal at hand. So anything can happen. How many Murlocs died this game? Was it like Bluegill, Double War Leader?
Bluegill, yeah, and the Double War Leader. We didn't see anything else, so that's still just 6 damage.
There's third part of the combo for Nyria. He's still missing Thorison.
For Cipher.
For Cipher.
For Nyria.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking about Nyria because Nyria was the one who was playing this deck the most.
Are you saying that Cipher looks like Nyria?
This deck looks like Nyria. Am I being racist like that?
You were racist earlier, but we'll let this one slide.
Damn it.
We'll put it on good behavior.
All right.
Cipher has 20 damage in hand, but he needs Emperor Thorison to reduce the damage, or reduce the mana cost so he can put the damage out. And...
well,
I guess you can just play Reno Jackson.
You definitely have to play Reno Jackson. Because you know the combo is coming. Even though combo is 6 damage at the moment.
Okay, he's going to play Brand Bronzebeard and taunt the minions. This is also okay because he's counting how much damage his opponent has with anything. And it's not enough.
6 damage actually, right? With Double War
right now, yes. Yeah. Pyromancer draw means he can pyro quality. His hand is honestly very full and it's a little bit hard for me to see everything.
A lot of golden cards for them.
Yeah, it looks like he has 2 equality, so he might as well get one rolling.
Yeah, just clear the board and open the way for the Murloc charge.
The curious thing is the tech choice from Xiaobu, like the big game hunter. Wonder if he was really anticipating needing that kind of card versus just having another card draw or more meaningful mid-game minions. But he is under no pressure at all. Look at that. Just really taking his time. Cipher almost certainly will consider probably going for a Reno Jackson here.
Even with Cipher having that Leroy Faceless and Power Overwhelming, provided he gets the Thorison at some point, that's not enough.
We're gonna be rich!
Yeah, Reno Jackson drops down, heals Cipher fully.
A lot of money, a lot of health. Reno Jackson restores it up to 30.
Xiaobu was visibly phased. It's like, damn it. He got it.
Nah, come on. It's like you always expect your opponent to have something.
With so many cards? Are you expecting Leroy Faceless Power Overwhelming, though?
That might not be the case. 20 damage just from the hand.
But he still
Big
needs the Thorison. He needs the Thorison to make the play.
Thorison to make the play, or he can use Faceless on stuff that's usually big value. For example, if you're playing against Secret Paladin, you can just face this Tyrion.
Faceless a bluegill or
Old
old
Murkai?
Murkai.
Dude,
That
that'd
might
be
work
pretty nutty.
with power overwhelming.
That'd be pretty funny. Doomsayer here as an effort to just stabilize the board. That is one way to deal with it. So you have
He has Siphon Soul. He has options.
Siphon Soul seems
He can even
like
Hellfire.
a waste. But you know, this deck doesn't really have that many large minions outside of Boom, right?
Yeah, that's true. They don't even run Boom actually. Like most of the lists I've seen, they don't run Boom. The Murloc.
Oh, so that's a Colento thing. Colento really likes
Colento had the Boom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
That hurts.
Yeah. Only
Oh.
two. Oh my goodness.
Justice plan.
Do you still want to go with the? Yeah, you want to play the end gang boss.
You want to play the Imp Gambus not to overdraw.
You know, one thing that's very funny that you see from Murloc Paladins is that if you ever get in a scenario where you know you're going to die that anything can happen, sometimes you want to leave the 1/1s up.
That's true.
Like, they'll trade into the board, but
or
say
is-
you had no minions on your board, like your Control Warrior, for example, and you're having tank ups. If they have 3 1/1s, don't be in a rush to kill it. Like, they can't have a full board of 7 Murlocs and kill you.
I also love silencing Doomsayers because
Silencing
it takes one
Doomsayer.
spot
Yeah.
fully.
Oh, that's a really good point. Silencing the Doomsayer. Force them to equality with Pyromancer to get
Yeah.
rid of it. Yeah.
Well, at this point, it doesn't matter that much because we've only seen 3 Murlocs, so he's still digging for the second Bluegill and Murkai, and he doesn't get them.
Yeah, there's a full jam-packed hand here. And
So
how do you deal with the Reno? I guess you Keeper of Oldemon?
well,
This
you don't have to deal with them right now, I guess.
This is something that Klunto was saying earlier when we were watching Nairia play. Is the fact that as the game progresses, one thing that you find is a big challenge with the Murloc Paladin is your weapon removal. Because you can't deal with mid-sized minions very effectively without them. Otherwise, you're just stuck like doing what you just saw, which is just playing another Peacekeeper and hoping for the best. And now here comes the charge from Cipher. He's just going to start stacking the board really convincingly, forces the opponent to use another equality, and then you can play Dr. Boom and hopefully start pushing for a win.
Yeah, you have a very good follow-up. And yeah, if the board is not cleared,
Yeah, this
Xiaobu
is
will
a
be in trouble.
quality clear for sure, right? This is just way too much.
Yeah, you have to do something with it. This is...
Oh,
30
anything can
points?
happen.
Can you anything here and
So-
just go for face?
You have 2 war leaders and a bluegill that died, so that means when they come back, that's 4 war leaders and 2 bluegills.
And 2 bluegills, which means that...
That's 20 damage.
Yeah, and you deal 6 right now. And you've seen...
So it would be a 2-wave lethal, but that's optimistic to say that he wouldn't have something to do about it, like healing or taunt.
Yeah, but still, the good thing is that you do create those Murlocs, and he has to do something with them. He can't just go face. There is a board suddenly.
I also like the Pyromancer equality and then just playing a minion on board like Healbot.
What about just going for anything right now and going for face to like have multiple Murlocs that died and a very powerful anything? But next turn just, if you don't have lethal, next turn just clear the board with Pyromancer equality and play something else.
Yeah. Oh, this is actually really good too. I didn't spot this. You can use Pyromancer Consecration. Oh, okay. Never mind. I thought he was going to use Pyromancer Consecration to do 3 damage.
It would be possible, but he still doesn't feel threatened by this board. He has Lay on Hands to heal 8. He has double heal bot as well. So he just wants to wait. And have even more value with Pyromancer combos.
Sure. And I guess if I'm Cipher then I take it slow right back. I tap closer to my Emperor Thorson. You can't tap right now, though.
Yeah,
so
you can't.
You have to play the...
Do you even play the Shredder?
Shredder, probably. Shredder, and then now you probably play your big game Hunter. Honestly, there's not really anything that you're going to BGH. If you're looking at a 12 damage Murloc, you're probably dead anyways. So I'd probably play BGH, tap, Shredder. or Shredder tap BGH.
Yeah,
I think it doesn't really affect too much. If you play BGH first, you get 1 more mana.
Yeah, because you want to clear your hands.
Yeah.
All right, I
I
think
think that makes the most sense.
I mean, I think that's fine.
Okay.
Dr. Boom is...
It's the most power.
It is the most power, but then you really bait out the removal. So maybe Cipher thought, hey, he doesn't have equality. He can't clear this board yet. Oh, there's a second blue
force him to have quality instead. Not bad. Now you can Pyromancer your quality and play Bluegill. That gives you 4 more mana remaining.
I still don't have to.
Wow, he is really patient.
Getting the Veil with Big Game Hunter makes sense.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He had a Big Game Hunter in hand.
Yeah.
I apologize. I forgot about that card.
Yeah, that's fine. He has a lot of cards in hand.
Yeah. So the Big Game Hunter, again, it's a very interesting tech choice. It is probably because he's lacking in late game power as well. I haven't seen a Dr. Boom from him at all. And I know Kalento really likes that. So that could be one discrepancy that we see in these deck lists.
There is a
Big time draw.
It is big time draw, absolutely, because it will enable the 20 damage combo. So you just slam Taurus and go for face?
Slam Thorson.
Just go for face here.
I don't know if you go all face. I think you actually play...
The Murlocs will deal, what, 12 damage to you. So 15, 19 points of damage.
Yeah, I guess that's true. He can't actually deal with the board very easily from what you see, and then you have the 20 damage follow-up.
Even Wrath is absolutely fine.
Wow, really clever.
All right, and now this is the moment where Lvxiaobu, he might not know there is the kill in Cipher's hand.
That's true. You can't actually know for sure. Therefore, you might just die to Leroy combination. His best move, by far, is to Pyro quality and then play a heal bot. But if he takes a suboptimal move by being a little bit greedier, like say, for example, he plays Anything Can Happen and then removes the board, like he plays this Anything Can Happen, the 6/3 Bluegill goes to 5/5, and then you like trade, and then you try to go for a big combo the next turn. He's actually just going to die.
Yeah, the Leroy trap is amazing. But
it's a total bait.
He has to think about it as well. It is.
Oh, he's hopping over the Anything.
Oh, he thinks there's nothing, no burst.
He's just going for the 2-turn lethal, which is generally correct, and he's going to trade here on the board with the 6/3s.
Yeah,
and he's going to be like, yeah, sure. All right, go. What can you do? What's the worst that can happen?
Reno doesn't have any burst, right? But not really. There's Leroy, and he even gets Dark Bomb.
He's shaking his head. He realizes, like, I know this is a possibility, but it's unlikely.
But
he was at a 29th card.
All the stuff.
It's like, I'm just regretting all things. He could have played super safe. And if he played super safe, who knows? He might have won this game.
Oh, man. 20 damage from Leroy, and he even got the Dark Bomb to put it to 23. But now everybody knows. No more surprises.
Yeah, that's right.
That was Lvxiaobu not knowing, guessing that there is a possibility. But normally, this deck is not that popular. Especially if you yourself play the Stalag Fugan version.
Definitely not in China. Although that's not necessarily true. I know that the OTK Warlock is known in China. Perhaps it's not the OTK Reno version. But when Eloise was playing a lot of OTK Warlock and she posted that guide, I know a lot of the people in China were reading it and playing it too. So I don't think it's out of the complete blue. Either way, it doesn't really matter. Lvxiaobu is in a very bad spot. He needs to win every single game from this point onwards.
Versus a Freeze Mage.
And that's not going to happen all the time. In fact, he's just sticking on his guns. He's going with Murloc Paladin yet again. And this is a matchup that should be good for Freeze Mage.
We've seen it before. Was it... who was playing that matchup before?
Earlier, it was Kalento versus Cipher.
And Cipher won with the Freeze Mage.
The key to that matchup was Kalento didn't have a lot of mid-game plays. He had a little bit of draw. He had like Doomsayer to stop a threat of like impending, but he didn't have any like super ways to draw into big damage. This time around though, look at Xiaobu's hand. He's got
Oh man,
early game curves.
I just want to laugh here because it's like the Murlocs have to be stopped. It's like they're actual threats even before the combo.
Because the thing is, if you leave a War Leader, then a 4-2 comes charging at you, and then a 5-5 comes charging at you.
Yeah, exactly.
Or even worse, because the second War Leader.
And he can't deal with it. He just has to play the minions here, and old Merca is just going there. So you take 8 damage this turn? This is crazy.
I think Murkai maybe comes down, hits the 2-2.
You just waste 5 damage?
The damage is not really the most important thing. It's the mounting pressure of the board. I think it's similar to like Druid. In a way, it's like you have so much burst with combo that it doesn't really matter. You just want to preserve the board.
All right, and you do save your war leader, so Blue Ghoul will actually get this damage back, kind of.
Interesting.
And there is no way to kill anything at the moment. Do you freeze it here?
Well, we have something that I like to talk about as Cipher talks about, as Cipher deciphers this play. The Novice Engineer is a very interesting choice because I know Freaks Mage players are very split on it. There's the thought that a Loot Hoarder is better to defend yourself against because you can use the 2 attack. In this specific scenario, it actually threatens every minion on board. But the Novice Engineer gives you an immediate draw to play that turn in the event that you need to top deck something perfectly. And I'm very curious why Cipher chose to include a Novice Engineer in his deck. If he feels like specifically it's a better meta call against what's currently popular.
There's no possibility that he is playing the Reno version, right? We haven't...
there is a possibility.
Because that's also the reason why you split the Loot Hoarder Novice.
It's unlikely. We would have seen things like
Torch.
a second, like a Code of Cold. We would have seen 1 Blizzard only, he runs 2.
Oh, okay.
You know, we would have seen some of these signs, like Forgotten Torch, but we haven't seen that at all. That's about it, I think.
All right. So for now, it seems that the situation is okay for Xiaobu, as he is pressuring, even without the combo for now. For Cipher, he still has some draw potential with the Acolyte of Pain, so that's good. He has the Frost now, but he doesn't have the clear.
Yeah, here if you're Xiaobu's position, you're not too worried. You're just going to go ahead and keep doing your thing. Keep clearing the board, just put up the mounting pressure and force your opponent to react to you.
Yeah,
and remember, you have anything can happen, so the more that dies, the better.
Yeah, and you've already got the War Leader, 3 Murlocs died. So how much damage is there with anything at the moment?
By my count, it should be 16. Because you have 4 Murlocs that died, and if you have 5 Murlocs, you have 22, I believe.
You have 2 War Leaders.
Oh wait, I apologize. You have 15 damage.
6 plus 5 plus 9, 15. Yeah.
15. Yeah. So you gain that extra point from that Murloc. So with this, Cipher knows he has to be a little bit cautious because as you get close to turn 10, there is that burst that's equivalent to the Force Ninja Savage Roar, right?
It is, yeah.
It's like that 14, 15 points of damage.
So what you need to do is Cipher, get to Alexstrasza, contain this board before it kills you, and then burst down your opponent. And he does have Fireball and Pyroblast.
Well, Consecration, very mediocre in this spot, but I guess it kind of gets the job done. You don't have Equality anyways, and if you Equality, you're going to play Pyromancer with it.
What are you playing against, though? Do you play around Flame Strike?
That's a hard question to answer here. You could be right. The Flame Strike might be coming here. Therefore, you use the 1-1 and change to the 1-1, set up your True Silver Champion or something instead, but
you want to have
I don't know. I want to play as if that doesn't exist. If you know, personally, just
like if Flame Strike does not exist.
I guess you feel like you can drag it out and you're not too worried about it because Flame Strike comes down, means your Murloc dies, right?
Yeah, it does. Still, Xiaobu is in a great position because what he just wants to do is wait till turn 10 and deal enough damage to pop the block on 10.
Yeah. But that was a pretty nice draw, having the Doomsayer. First you can draw with Arcane Intellect, evaluate what's going on, Frost Nova Doomsayer.
Yeah, that's
he might
pretty
not
good.
even do that either because he has 2 Ice Blocks in hand, and maybe he feels obligated to set up Ice Block instead.
Consecration might be useful as well for Xiaobu. After he pops the block next turn, if he gets all the freezes, he might be able to just win with Consecration as the
Yeah.
burst card.
Burst, Consecration.
Well, it does win games. versus Freeze
TFW,
Mage.
spend 4 mana to Hunter Hero Power.
If it wins the
Feels
game, it's
bad.
fine.
Cipher in this spot also has opportunities just to be really defensive. Like, I was saying Ice Block originally, but you know, even just like Heal Bot would have been okay to set up other stuff. But right now, he's just gonna take it super slow. Like, this is the slowest play he could have done. Ice Block, Hero Power, and I like it because
He's not threatened.
he's not threatened. And if he drew Alexstrasza, he'd have an opportunity to play for the win in the following turns.
But then he doesn't have any more draw. He has options to stall.
Well, draw is not exactly useful to him either because he would overdraw at that point.
Yeah, but he wants to draw the Alexstrasza at some point. So
Yeah.
like, if he can drop the Doomsayer Nova, or like just the Doomsayer,
Xiaobu, what you gonna do, man?
it's interesting because Xiaobu doesn't have Lay on Hands yet. So if Alexstrasza happens as a top deck for Cipher next turn, Xiaobu will be in trouble.
Well, card draw it is, just like you asked for, Nimsh. You can Frost Nova Doomsayer and draw 2 cards.
I don't hate that.
Yeah, I actually think that's okay.
Do you even Frost Nova?
Well, you want to double Doomsayer instead?
How much? He's at 10 cards at the moment, right?
Yeah, so he has
Okay.
to play a card and then Arcane Intellect and then Frost Nova.
All right.
Yeah, still Frost Nova. The alternative is to play Loot Hoarder and then
Ping the
either
1/1.
Frostbolt or Doomsayer number 2. I'd probably say Frost Nova is better.
Yeah, it's unlikely. It's unlikely that Doomsayer will be killed.
Yeah, here's what kind of sucks. It's not turn 10 where he plays anything can happen, because that's when you want to try to get them to die, so that way you don't have to worry about the board. When the 4 Murlocs come back or something, they have so much health. It's like all 6 health Murlocs or above.
Yeah, well, Xiaobu is in a position where he can just go with the weapon to face, put Cipher on 17, and then next turn he'll be able to pop the block with anything. Unless Alexstrasza happens, but then still he will be able to heal, and he will have the 1/2 on the board as a taunt. Interesting position.
Yeah, makes sense. So what do you do if you're Xiaobu?
Attack face.
Attack
and
face when you don't really have to and you're not necessarily threatening a lethal.
You're threatening a block pop next turn if you attack face here. Because you have 15 damage.
Oh,
with
you're right,
Murlocs.
you're right, you're right. Yeah, actually, I don't mind that if you're threatening an ice block pop. But, oh man, it passes anyways.
It's fine as well. Oh, there's Alexstrasza.
That is so big.
And there's no Lay on Hands still. The only heal is that weapon.
Oh my goodness, I feel really bad for Xiaobu. But
Do you still use the... Anything can happen. You have 2 of them. So if you
yeah,
bring
sure.
the Murlocs
You do that and you crash into the Alex.
and you do attack with the weapon, so you go up to 17. And then you absolutely need Lay on Hands. If you don't, you're just dead.
Is there... Yeah, because you can't pop the ice block now. You're 1 off. You're 1 damage off the ice block
Because
pop.
he didn't
Because he
attack.
didn't attack earlier. He played a little bit greedy, which is fine because a lot of people play greedy with this matchup. But your opponent just happened to draw the Alexstrasza, and he's going to Pyroblast it next turn.
Yeah, Pyroblast to the face. Still with Ice Block. Super safe. And it seems like Freeze Mage is going to take it again unless there is... Does Lay on Hands save Xiaobu?
Let's see. If he
will
lay
go-
on hands, he goes back up to 15, 17 because the attack.
Yeah.
And Cipher would have 6, 13, 14 damage plus ice block, so that's 15. It'd be close. It'd be really close.
Yeah.
The fact that you can draw into any kind of more damage from Cipher is very high. He has a second Loot Hoarder to help him with that.
All right, so Pyroblast face seems reasonable. And feels
Pyroblast
good.
face, and you ping it as well. Oh, I didn't cut the. Oh, you can't ping. It's not. What? It's not 2013 Fodan. Yeah, you want to Pyroblast, and then put him. I was like, yeah, because you put him down at 6, because then if he heals up, then you can ping him over 2 turns. Like,
oh man. No, Pyroblast the face is just fine. Is there anything else?
You can also use the burn this turn, like Fireball, Frostbolt, Ice Lance, to freeze the face so you can't heal.
I don't think you want that, because if by any chance he pops your block and heals at the same time, you want to have a possibility to replay Ice Block and deal damage as well. Or if he heals from the threshold.
Interesting.
All right, he's
going to Frostbolt, Ice Lance.
Defensively.
Yeah. He gets that Alexstrasza damage in. Okay.
I mean, it sits lethal as well, unless there's Lay on Hands.
Yeah, that's a very creative way to do it. So that way, it's like you said, he doesn't get his Ice Block popped.
Oh, whoa! That is a heal. He's not dead yet.
I mean, this was a very clever play from Cipher because he put himself at 16 and he knows 15 damage Murlocs are coming out here. So his Ice Block is safe. But that Antique Heal Bot has bought him some crucial time here, because he would have been just dead the next turn.
Can Xiaobu still win, though?
Yeah, he certainly can if he just draws another Lay on Hands or something.
And out-heal the damage.
Because the problem is that the Mage wants to kill him in like 1 turn, but the Paladin can heal over the course of turns like 24 health.
Oh man, he actually is running double Lay on Hands. So if he Lay on Hands into Lay on Hands, he can absolutely out-heal the damage.
The first Lay on Hands will almost certainly strike gold into something else.
Now we have to wonder, wasn't Pyroblast just better?
I don't know. I actually really like this line from Cipher because it froze the True Silver Champion. And that gives him an opportunity to use Alexstrasza to do 2 damage. So now another alternative line is to Frost Nova, play like Loot Hoarder or even Doomsayer, and then freeze the face.
What about Fireball face ping?
He wants to preserve his Ice Block.
Yeah.
So freeze the face.
I would like to cast Fireball if possible. Just put your opponent to lethal range.
Yeah, you know what? Why not Fireball and then Frost Nova and then Loot Hoarder? Because if he plays, anything can happen. First of all, his board is too full for Murlocs.
Yeah, it is. So if you Frost Nova, he will never pop your block. So the only problem is the heal.
Why not?
Like basically, if you Fireball face, attack with Alexstrasza, Frost Nova.
Yep, I like that.
Ice Lance face possibly, so that he can't heal with the weapon.
I do like developing Loot Hoarder as well because you want to be able to draw another card.
Yeah, it's also damage. So
okay.
it's 3 damage on board.
He needs some help.
He needs Lay on Hands on the second Cubot. Murloc. Nope.
Can he do anything else?
No, he's just dead to
No. Can he draw off the Acolyte? No, he can't. Wait, second heal bot.
He can draw second heal bot with Acolyte.
So Consecrate.
What?
Or if he wants to muster for battle, it'll draw him a card.
Yeah,
and then he can get heal bot.
He can get a heal up, and then he will be outside of the range
for 1 more turn, and then has to draw another Lay on Hands.
I hope he doesn't concede because it's absolutely winnable if he does that.
The freeze on the card might make it hard to see and you forget.
Oh man, I can draw a card with Acolyte, can I?
But he has to think about his best case. I like this. Consecration, draw a card. I mean, he's playing on point. Lay on Hands.
Oh, he had a Pyromaster on board already. You need that heal bot. Which
one's it going to be?
He can still draw heal bot. Can still draw 2 cards. Can he get the heals?
1 more heal bot.
Not really.
And he's just going to have to be forced to play something.
But the play was good, though. And now,
good attempt.
With an old-school Pyroblast, Cipher is taking.
And that's going to be a 3-0. Cipher stays competitive in the group. 1-1 score, evening it up with Xiaobu. And you know what's even bigger?
Wow.
He does it without dropping a single game in the series.
That's really impressive by both players. And the fact that Xiaobu saw that play.
Yeah.
And he
saw
executed
that little opening.
And it's never over until it's over. Because he still had a chance. If that will be a heal bot into Lay on Hands.
He might even win at that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because then Cipher would be completely dependent on having Antonitis in order to get the final points of damage. because he went completely all in with his mini burst, right? With his Ice Lances and his Frostbolt and Fireballs. Really close game. You know, that series was 3-0, but that is not an indication of how the series actually went back and forth.
Cipher congratulated by the crowd.
Yeah.
Xiaobu as well. They're working together.
Good stuff, man. Really loving the tournament vibe so far as Cipher stays alive. And that's going to draw us to our 4th game where Kolento will place against Dog. And if Dog wins, that means we have a 4-way tie.
But if the Dog loses, we'll be in a bad spot because how it works in a group is that the first place in the group gains a great advantage and lands in a quarterfinal, I believe. And only the last place in the group is eliminated. So if Dog loses here, he's in a good spot to be in a bad spot.
Yeah, I know what you mean. He's in a bad. He's in a really bad spot if he loses. So Dog will have to pull it back against Kolento, one of the toughest opponents here. I can't even imagine another opponent that you'd rather not face. Maybe Sivka, based off their current streak.
Life coach?
Well, he's not here. I'm saying
he's not here.
Like if you want to pick one player that you don't want to face here,
Kolento is absolutely the number one, I think.
Yeah.
That you don't want to face.
Gonna be tough. Well, whether or not he comes back, we're about to find out. Stay tuned, guys. When we come back, more Hearthstone action. You're watching the StarLadder Series Finals.